Welcome. This is Back to the Bins. I'm your host, Mr. B. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you've been here before, thanks so much for coming back, and if you're new here, thanks so much for stopping by. This is a comic book collecting channel. I'm somebody who is recently back into the hobby, so if that somebody sounds like you, this might be a good channel to watch. I don't really speculate. I'm not interested in getting these big books. I'm just interested in getting back into the hobby, exploring what's new, and exploring what's old. I have a pull list, so I've got all kinds of great modern books. I'm interested in Silver Age, Bronze Age. I love digging through dollar bins. I love back issues, and I'm really just in it for the art. I also love covers. I really love covers, and that's what we do around here. So if that sounds like something you want to do, if that sounds like something that you're back into, or if you just want to spend some time doing nothing but looking at comics, then this is the place for you. And I ask that you like, comment, and subscribe. I'd really love to build a community of people who want to just talk about comics, who enjoy the art form, and are just chill about the whole thing. As per usual, this Sunday video is our recent pull list. I'm sure most of you have already read your books, but we do things a little slow. We are a little bit behind, and really, it doesn't matter because we're just appreciating some great comics. So, why don't you stick around, take a look over here, and have a peek at what I got. All right, here we go. This is this week's pull list, and as per usual, we do things in alphabetical order, starting with, yes, we start with Avengers Twilight number 6. This is the Daniel Acuna variant. I have been getting all of his beautiful covers for this series. This is the final issue, and my goodness, what a great comic book it is. If you are not reading this, if you haven't read it, I so suggest Avengers Twilight. It is an old age geriatric style group of Avengers led by Captain America. Look at this team. It's fantastic. The story is great. I have had so much fun with this book. Potential for Book of the Year. I'm sure critics are going to rate this so high on their list. Chip Zdarsky is doing wonders with this book. I think it is fantastic. The art is great, and I can't wait to dig into this one because I have just loved this series. Yeah, just fantastic. This was not on the pull list this week, but this is a new book for the week, and I wasn't sure. I had seen this cover. This is a cover by. I had seen this cover when it came out on the FOC, and I was thinking to myself, this is beautiful, I gotta pull this, and then I never did. And then as the weeks progressed, I forgot about it, and then when it came to be Wednesday, I looked on League of Comic Geeks and saw this variant, and I thought, oh man, I forgot. Contacted my LCS and asked them if they had a copy. This was the last copy they had. They put it in the bin for me, and I picked it up on Thursday, and it is beautiful. Long-winded. This is Detective Comics number 1085. This is a Steve Beach cardstock variant. I'm a cover collector. I couldn't say no to this beautiful comic. This is just absolutely amazing. I'm getting more and more into Batman and the aesthetics of Batman, and I think this is just so awesome. Great comic. Okay, now here we go from the pull list. One of my favorite books. This is Green Arrow number 12. This is the A cover by Sean Izaakse. This book has been great. I have been loving it. This is the Countdown to Absolute Power, a new event happening in the DC world. I'm going to get a couple of more of these issues because there's some great covers that I want. I haven't grown tired of the story by any means. I certainly love Green Arrow. I love where this has gone. I've had a lot of fun with this book, but I just want to move on. I want to dig through more comics. Being new in this hobby now with all of the publishers, all of the titles, it's just been a great time to be a comic collector, and I want to go somewhere else. I want to see what else we've got. But now I know I love Green Arrow. I will always come back to it. Fantastic. And as per usual with Green Arrow, we get some variant covers. And this is, again, Green Arrow number 12, but this is the Gleb Melnikov cardstock variant. Love that. Little canary and Green Arrow just drinking some coffee. I notice there's no string. Does Green Arrow have a special bow and everything else? Is that how this works? I'm not even sure. I don't think I've ever noticed it in the comic. I'm going to have to take a look. Maybe he doesn't use cord. I don't know. Then I got this one because I'm a sucker for just a great image on a cover. This is the Annie Wu Red Canary AAPI month variant. Great stuff. I love that. What else can you say? Just a great image. Beautiful stuff. Love it. This I've been hearing all about over the week and thought, oh man, I'm feeling the FOMO. This was sitting on the shelf. I hadn't pulled it. This was sitting on the shelf at the LCS, and I grabbed it because I think now as I looked at it, I'm like, of course, this cover is fantastic. The art is just as great inside, and it takes place in 1984. I was 7, but I still think that I'm going to love this comic. This is Gromit's #1. This is the Brett Parsons cover. Rick Remender is doing the writing, and again, kids, teenagers, 1984, Sacramento, California. It's going to be a lot of fun. Is this going to be like Gleaming the Cube or something, maybe? I don't know. Should be interesting. Another cover by, and this becoming a big thing in the upcoming month. This is Helverine #1, the Scotty Young variant. I think I have one other Scotty Young cover, and I like his work. I really do. I think it's cute. I don't need all of it, and so I'm picking and choosing what I want. There are a number of titles this month that will be Scotty Young. I'm not going to get them all, but I definitely had to get this one. I think this is really cool. To #1, I'm on the fence about reading it because I don't really care about Ghost Rider. I think he's a great anti-hero or whatever you want to call him. Visually, I think he's great, but I don't know if it's for me. But I do really love that cover. Now, here's something that probably shouldn't be for me, but I just keep reading this comic. A lot of people don't like it. I'm on the fence about it. It's kind of meh, but I love this cover. This is Jackpot and Black Cat, #3, an Elizabeth Torque variant. I think I have a couple of Elizabeth Torque variants already. I just like how full this particular cover is. I love both characters, even though Jackpot or Mary Jane's suit is a little tacky. I like that it's cartoony. This might make for a good Saturday morning cartoon as opposed to a comic book, at least looking like this. But still, I like the cover, and I am reading this series, and it's okay. This right here is a book that actually surprised me. I wasn't sure I was going to like it. I don't read a lot of Star Wars, even though I'm a Star Wars fan. This is Star Wars Jango Fett, issue #3. This is the Lionel Francis Yu cover. We got a first appearance here, folks. First appearance of Kradosk, who is the same species as Bosk, and I forget what that species is called. Probably losing some street cred on that one. And this is also Death of Hujari. I'm not sure who Hujari is. I don't recognize that being from this particular book, but maybe we're introduced, and maybe is killed in the same issue. I don't know, but I really have liked this. I love Mandalorians. I love Jango Fett. I love Boba Fett, of course. And this has just been a fun little romp through space, as all good Star Wars should be. But folks, then I stopped over at this wasn't a dollar bin. This was from the back issue bins. That's right. As you can see, I paid $3 and not $1 for it. This is The Twilight Zone, #26 from July of 1968. And this is a George Wilson cover. The Twilight Zone by Rod Serling, that original run, is my favorite television show of all time. I think it's so ahead of its time. Even though it was made in the late 50s and early 60s, there's a lot of kitsch to it, this doesn't land like it probably did in 1960, but at the same time, you know what they were trying to do, and you know that every episode has a twist that will leave you thinking, and that to me is what's most important about this program. It paved the way for all kinds of science fiction and fantasy. Lost, I'll even say Star Wars, all of this stuff. Ahead of its time, Rod Serling a genius, and I love these Gold Key comics, and so there was a handful in the back issue bin, so I grabbed this one as well. These were actually all ones that I had on a list that I wanted. I was surprised to find so many, because what's the chance that you're going to find a handful of comics that you really wanted? This is #31 from September of 1969. I really loved the cover. I'm going to read these because I just love the stories, but the covers themselves are just absolutely fantastic. I can't say no to the Gold Key Twilight Zone stuff. We got this one as well. This one a little worse for wear with the big line here, but that's okay. Kind of psychedelic nonetheless, pretty cool. This is number 45 from September of 1972. Again, a George Wilson cover. I think these are all George Wilson's, but I'm not entirely sure. League of Comic Geeks was vague on a couple of them, and I didn't dig too deep to find out. But great stuff, great stuff. And then we finish with this one. This is The Twilight Zone, number 58 from August of 1974. Again, not entirely sure who the artist is, but probably George Wilson. I love that. Reminds me of the devil that was in an episode of The Twilight Zone. Great show. If you've never seen it, look for The Twilight Zone, and maybe find some of these in your back issue or dollar bins and read a couple. Pretty cool stuff. Then, back onto the pull list. We got everybody's favorite, Ultimate Spider-Man. This is issue number 5. This is the Leonardo Romero variant. He is one of my absolute favorite artists right now. I love his work. I love how simple it is. I love how clean it is. I love how vibrant it all is. This is a beautiful cover, a classic Spidey pose. I'm not super thrilled with Green Goblin's outfit here, but whatever. This is just a classic Spider-Man scene, and I'm here for it, and everybody loves Ultimate Spider-Man. Here's some good stuff too. Great series that's been happening over at Image. This is the Universal Monsters stuff. This is Universal Monsters Creature from the Black Lagoon Lives, number 2. This is a Francis Manapul variant. This is a slow burn. This is a real slow burn. I'm here for it. I love it. I'm curious about what's going to happen here. Obviously, we're making contact. Let's hope. Fingers crossed. This is a lot slower than Dracula was, and a lot. How do I say it? It's less out there. The artwork in Dracula, the whole crazy story, that really all worked together. This is more standard, but it's Creature from the Black Lagoon. You gotta love it. Universal Monsters, always fun. I love this. It's cool. Check it out. I'm looking forward to Frankenstein, I believe, is next. And I hope we get the Invisible Man. Bride of Frankenstein would be cool. But until then, I've always got William of Newbury, number 1. This is the Michael Avon Oeming cover. I just think this cover is gorgeous. I'm really excited to read the story. I love that it's a raccoon. I don't know. I think this is going to be fun. Hopefully it's the kind of stuff for me. I don't have a lot of Dark Horse comics, but I didn't see a lot of bad or negative reviews about this book, so maybe I'm going to love it, but who knows? I'll let you know as we get into the other issues. But I thought this is really cool. I'm looking forward to it. And that is all of it, folks. So let's get out of here and head over to the real world, shall we? Well, that was a great collection of comics. Hopefully you enjoyed what you saw. And if you did, why don't you like, comment, and subscribe? It really helps the channel. I'd love to develop a great community of people here who just want to hang out and talk about comics. I thank you so much for joining me today. We'll see you next week with, again, another great pull list. But until then, remember, comics are good.